Alright, so you guys today are going to be taking the stuff that you learned from our online session last time, all the different types of fossils, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to actually be identifying fossils from a real set. Okay, so recrystallization, carbonization, replacement, trace fossils, those types. I want you to, of the 16 that I give you, identify 6. Okay. Now, when you identify these, I want you to identify 3 of the 5 different types. So like I said, maybe you're going to pick a couple replacement, 1 carbonization, and a couple of recrystallization. Okay, that is up to you. Now, for full credit, okay, you're doing this with drawings. Okay, so you're actually going to be doing this with paper. So I've provided paper for you to do this. What you need to do is you're going to have drawings, okay? Identify the fossil by species. Now, I'm going to attach another YouTube video that will teach you guys how to use kingdom, phylum, class, order, etc., okay? Also, I want you guys to write a description of the fossil, where it came from, and again, I can show you how to get that. You can also look at what our book says, and then also the internet, okay? The other thing that I want you to do is write a second description about how or where the organism lived. Okay, so tell me about the time, location of life, the environment, those types of things. So if it was a, I don't know, Carboniferous era fern, then you would talk about the Carboniferous era there being, hot, very humid, a lot of precipitation. The whole world was a swamp. This organism lived on that. That's what I'm looking for here. Up above, I'm looking for something like the fossil can be found has paleo lines on the front, usually ranging from a thickness of this, a width of this, and so forth. Okay. Again, if you're working by yourself, which you can choose to do, you're going to do 3 of these in the allotted time. Okay. Now, if you choose to partner up, you can. Okay, but then you need to do 6 between you and your partner. Okay. Each group will get a kit, a book, and a laptop computer. All these things are provided. You guys may need to share laptops, as I only have 10, but other than that, we can go from there. Okay. Each one of your 6 profiles is assessed on this rubric, so you're going to show me all of your stuff is present, drawings are detailed, descriptions are great, etc. Okay. Now here's an example of what would be good. Now obviously I use pictures because this was done on a computer, but I want you guys to actually find pictures of it and draw them. Okay. Now, I guess I can let you guys, if you choose to use computers, you can do that, but what you need to do is you need to actually snap photos of those pictures or of that organism that you're looking at, like I did. So I used my iPhone to snap a picture of this, sent it to myself, and I pasted it into the profile. You can do that if you'd like. Okay. Here's the kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Now, some of these things you'll notice we don't find. Okay. That's fine, but provide me enough information to be able to figure out what this organism is. Okay, species, I would say probably get at least 2 or 3 of these things. Okay, fossil type, the one that I was looking at was recrystallization. I told you it's recrystallization, also known as permineralization. But then you also need to be able to tell me why you think this is that type. Okay, so one of the tipping points for us to know about recrystallization is the fact that there's great detail preserved. Okay, description of sample. Again, your book tells you this, or the fossil book tells you this, so you can kind of summarize or paraphrase what they have. Again, 2 to 3 sentences long. You can also use the internet. And then lastly, same thing, description of the environment. Okay, so tell me about the period that the organism was alive, what it looked like, particular species, okay, things like that. So that's what I'm looking for. Now, to show you, here is a student example. So they didn't have pictures yet, or I think they actually attached pictures down below, but they name it, okay, they tell me what type of fossil it is and how they know that. They give a description of the fossil, okay. They give a description of the environment of where that fossil lived, and then they actually snap pictures and showed me what that looked like for every single one that they did. So this is student work, good stuff, okay, and this is kind of what I'm expecting out of you guys. Now again, if you want to draw, you can draw. If you want to use the computers, you can use the computers. That is your assignment for today. The amount of time that you're going to have is roughly the entire class period. Okay, so I do have high expectation for your work. Now, how do you ID these, you're probably wondering. Okay, let me go ahead and pull up my doc cam because I can show you what we would be doing. Okay, so you have a kit, something like this. Now again, I had you guys sign out these things on the front board so I can keep track of, who had what, because these things are relatively expensive, okay? So all you're going to be doing is you're going to go ahead and you're going to take a look and say, by the way, this rock-looking thing, it's a dinosaur bone. Don't identify this. It's going to be very, very hard to do. Okay, this is a chunk of dinosaur bone. But anyways, for example, here's looks like fossilized fern. Okay, so if I'm going to try to ID this, I'm going to go to my fossil book, which you guys all should have at least one of. Okay. And what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to first go ahead and look for pictures that look similar to the organism that I have. Okay, in the picture section right here. Now notice as I flip through here, okay, that the tabs will kind of tell me what type of organism I'm looking at. Okay, so you can kind of quick look that way, and I found something that looks like a fern. Okay, so these are all plants. So I'm going to go ahead and just flip through and see if I can find, and so I'm right now looking at a couple of different individual types that potentially could be. Okay, let's say I peg this as the one that I'm identifying. So I'm going to go ahead and notice that that's the name of it. Now page 747 is where I'm going to find the info on this. So now I got to go to page 747 to figure out what this organism is. Page numbers are up top here, so 747. That is the species name of my organism. Okay, so you can read through it again. Here's your description of description of the organism, tells you all about it. Paraphrase what it is. Okay, this is also a description of the organism. This is probably the better one that you want to look at. Paraphrase that. Now, to talk about the period it lived in, this organism particularly lived in the lower to middle late Devonian. Okay, you can go to your research that you guys have on your periods, include that stuff. Okay, you can also use the internet to tell me what this may have looked like or what that Devonian period may have looked like. And then also, okay, actually as it turns out, this book has a really nice guide in the front. Okay, we're in the Permian period, so Devonian was earlier than that. I'm going to find the Devonian period, okay, and then use that as research as well. So that's how you're going to ID these using these books. Again, each partner pair should have at least one. I think I have 15 of these things. So use these. This is probably the best place to do it. You're going to be tempted to ID them using the internet. Trust me when I say that's not as good as this book. You can try, but this is your best starting spot. Okay, so your job is to ID 6 of these as a partner pair or 3 of these as an individual. I don't care how you do it. Again, I'd prefer on paper, but if you choose to use computers, again, spread out the computer usage. Each group should be able to have one. Each person should have access to them. But if you choose to, you can also do this paper pencil. Okay, we'll be collecting this at the end of the period before you guys go, so be sure to have it done because this will be put in the grade book for a grade. Okay, other than that, that's how you ID fossils. Those are the guidelines and requirements that we're going to be looking at, and this is the exact same fossil set you're going to be using as well.